Like, first of all, who are you?
I like that.
And what's so special about you that how do you know that the right person wouldn't take one look at you and run away screaming if they had any sense? Like, seriously.
Welcome to Manosphere Highlights Daily. Today, we're diving into an eye-opening conversation from the Megyn Kelly Show, where she interviews Jordan Peterson. And trust me, both of them break down exactly why the Snow White remake didn't just flop at the box office, it flopped with women themselves. It all starts with Megyn Kelly asking Jordan Peterson a question that gets right to the heart of why modern women are struggling in dating and why the new Snow White flopped with them. Let's get into it.
Ain't that a man? Let me ask you this. I've been dying to ask you this. I speak with a lot of young conservative women regularly, and they are very aware of everything you've said. They've got their eye on the biological clock in a way the previous generation did not. They understand the risks of waiting too long to choose a partner, all of that. They do get it. But a lot of them still, they want a career of their own. They're driven professionally in that way. And what they ask me, Jordan, is, should I just settle? Should I just settle? You know, I'm 29 now. I have a career that I like. I haven't met the right guy yet, but there are guys who are interested in me. So should I just settle now for somebody who I'm really not that into?
Aha! Did you catch that? Conservative women. Not just any women. Conservative ones. And here's the thing about conservative women. They are women first. Unlike modern feminists, conservative women still believe in romance, traditional courtship, and being pursued by a man. And you know who else is a conservative woman? Megyn Kelly. Now, if you've been watching the channel, you know we already broke down how Megyn Kelly got her Prince Charming husband. Spoiler alert, she didn't settle for a bus driver. Her husband pursued her just like in a classic fairy tale. But this is where Jordan Peterson drops the red pill truth bomb, exposing why modern women are struggling in the dating market and why this Snow White remake failed to resonate. Because asking whether they should settle is the wrong question entirely. Peterson explains what they should be asking instead.
Well, the first thing I would ask is that who's settling in that equation? Like, it's quite the narcissistic proclamation that it's clearly you who's settling, you know, and that might even be more true if you're 29, because you're competing with a lot of 24-year-olds by that point, and they put a lot less biological pressure on a potential mate. Like, look, when I was out touring 3 nights in a row, the same question came up, because I do a Q&A at the end of my lectures, and this is in the last round of tours. And one of the questions was, how do I find the person that's right for me? And I didn't answer it the first night. There was something about the question I didn't like. And then it came up 2 more nights in a row and was voted up by the audience.
Keynote, guys. Pay attention. This question kept coming back and was even voted up by the audience. That means a lot of women are struggling with this exact dilemma. Keep that in mind.
And the third night I thought, I know why I tried stumbling through an answer and it didn't work. And then the third night I thought, I know what the problem is here. That's the wrong question. Because the right question is, how do I make myself into the sort of person that's so attractive to other people that potential mates are lining up for me? That's a way different question than how do I find the person that's right for me? Like, first of all, who are you?
I like that.
And what's so special about you that how do you know that the right person wouldn't take one look at you and run away screaming if they had any sense? Like, seriously, you know, you're settling, are you? You know, if you use that language even, the first thing you might ask yourself is, why do you start with such a high opinion of yourself and such a low opinion of the people who are pursuing you? Now, look, I understand that it's necessary to be attracted to a potential partner, you know, and that women have the right and the duty to be picky. They should find a man who's going to be not a child and who's going to be very helpful to them in all ways, particularly when they have children, and who's going to be a good father. And so hooray to women for being picky. But that's not the same thing as starting out narcissistic. You know, we talked about Snow White. Before she could find a prince, she had to learn to be of service to the dwarves. Like, that's worth thinking about. Now, you might think, well, why should we pay attention to a fairy tale? It's like, well, how about because people remembered it for 15,000 years and that Disney just spent $250 million trying to retell it and failed?
Boom! This is pure gold. What Jordan Peterson just exposed is what I like to call the narcissistic paradox. Here's the deal. The modern woman has been told her entire life that she is superior. She's got degrees, the high status career, and an endless supply of men giving her attention. All of this feeds into the belief that she's above the average guy. But here's where the paradox comes in. If she's forced to date down, that entire superiority complex collapses. So if the fairy tale doesn't feed her ego by handing her a Prince Charming at the end, then suddenly the fairy tale isn't fun anymore. And this is exactly why the 1937 Snow White doesn't sit well with modern women. That version of Snow White earned her happy ending. She was kind, nurturing, cooperative. She deserved her prince. But this new Snow White, she wants the rewards without the effort. And here's the real problem. The modern version of Snow White can't have her cake and eat it too. Think about it. The Barbie movie got away with pushing the whole strong independent woman narrative because Ken was never Prince Charming to begin with. Barbie was always about girl power, so making her the hero didn't break anything. But Snow White is built on the idea of being rescued by the prince. And this is why it backfired.
I'd watched a lot of period drama. I'd watched a lot of rom-coms, and it really screwed me up because I thought, oh yeah, he's just going to come in like a knight in shining armor and rescue me. I want to be rescued. I was still in that mentality. I hadn't done all the self-work yet. And I thought, just somebody come and save me. Please choose me, pick me. I didn't know that was my mentality then. I thought I was just being myself, and I thought I was just loving life. But I realize now it's clear that I was waiting for a guy to come in on a white horse.
There it is. This is a 40-year-old woman admitting she still wants to be swept off her feet, just like the rom-coms she grew up watching. Now here's where Rachel Zegler completely shot herself in the foot.
No longer 1937.
She's not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
The moment she opened her mouth and said Snow White isn't going to be saved by the prince, and she's not dreaming about true love, she destroyed these women's childhood dreams. Because like it or not, these fairy tales, these rom-coms, they shaped women's expectations more than they'd ever admit. And this is why the new Snow White was doomed from the start. Now let's give you some intel about the Prince Charming experience. Check this out.
And this is where we get our question answered about what happens with the non-consensual kiss that takes place in the 1937 version of this film. We get the lyric, "Promise to wake me with a kiss," and they both sing it to each other. So this is consent. Now he can kiss her at the end of the film and wake her up. Because remember that time that we sang about promising each other that we would wake each other with a kiss if ever the time or opportunity came for such a thing to happen?
Women's fantasies are not about equality. They're about dominance and desire. They don't want a Prince Charming who hesitates, second guesses, or asks for permission like a nervous intern. They want a man who just knows, who sweeps them off their feet without turning it into a legal negotiation. And this is why feminism is self-destructive, because it teaches women to reject the very things they are naturally attracted to. They still want Prince Charming, but they also want him to behave like a corporate HR rep at the same time. It's a contradiction. And guess what happens when Prince Charming hesitates and asks, "May I kiss you?" instead of just going for it? Instant turn off. And this is why so many modern women are frustrated, because the very men they dream about don't exist under effeminist rules. And that, my friends, is why Hollywood's effeminist fairy tales keep flopping, because deep down, women don't actually want what these women are selling.
Well, I like the way you started that. What shouldn't the goal be to make yourself so attractive just in heart and soul, not to mention on the outside, that does require some effort, that they're lining up, there. And if that's not happening, why? Why is it?
Man, that's where we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been
Highlighted.